spades, the ace of spades. You know I'm going to lose, and gambling's for fools, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. And don't forget the Joker.
So this is mostly us and our friends. But I'll just give you a brief intro. My name is Alex Stokes. I teach stand-up comedy at UT. Thank you for clapping. I started this class in 2017. This is my 12th one, and we've got 10 students tonight, ranging from clean to dirty. We push the dirty ones to eat for you guys in the back. Let you drink some more before you have to hear that shit. We've got 2 trains. Part of our show. Trains are hard to overcome. I'll just let you guys know that. That's a hard one. So basically the way the class works, it's an 8-week class. It's a non-credit class at UT. 4 nights in a classroom, 4 performances at different breweries, different bars all over town. This year, my whole class is a bunch of drunk people that decided they don't even want to go in the classroom at all. So we're doing 8 classes outside the classroom. Perfect for me. The best part about this job is I get paid to drink and watch people fail. So that's awesome. That's why I do this every year. So yeah, we've got 9 people coming up tonight. The magician could not make it. So yeah. He probably started drinking at noon. We all know that. So yeah, he's probably couldn't drive all the way here. So but we got a very cool group. My class over the years, I've had everybody from a 14-year-old high school student to a 85-year-old retired Southern Baptist preacher who took my class twice. And Ray has been here through all of them. Ray has taken all 12 classes. That's awesome. But, so we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. Each performer gets like 5 to 7 minutes, and I will be flashing a light at you. And when you see that light, you got 1 minute left. So don't turn this into a 4-hour show like we did the first time. But I'm excited to introduce our first comedian for the evening. I'm going to try to remember your intro from the last class. So this is his second time taking my class. He is an attorney. He specializes in DUIs. So your first drink is on him tonight, guys. Drink it up. You're all good. He's a very, very funny guy. Oh, by the way, comedians, the microphone stand, if you haven't noticed, it's not working, so just gotta hold the mic. So let me bring up your first comedian. Guys, give a huge round of applause for Tim Ahrens.
Thank you. I am Tim Ahrens, and I don't know if you noticed, but I got visibly excited when that ambulance went by just a minute ago. I do specialize in DUIs now, and I'll give you all your first piece of legal advice, free, and it's if you are pulled over by the police and they are talking to you, shut up. Shut up, because there's nothing that your drunk ass is going to say to them to keep them from arresting you. And everything you say is being recorded. So my first piece of advice is shut up. And my second piece of advice is don't be like the other group that I'm specializing in, and that's the spitters. What a spitter is a spitter is the person who spit on their last attorney. And it seems like they keep giving me the spitters. And one of my good friends was actually the last attorney that got spit on, named Gary. And so I've got a defense. I'd like to try it out on you right now and see if you think it's a good one. Here's what I'm going to say to the jury. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you heard Mr. Chen testify today, and I could tell by the way you were looking at him that each and every one of you wanted to spit on him too. And the fact that you didn't spit on him, and my client did, the fact that you had a little bit more self-control than my client did, does not mean that my client's guilty. In other words, if you did not spit, you must have quit. Thank you very much. The other thing that I always find interesting is I'll get these cases and they'll have a laundry list of things they've charged my client with. You know, or for DUI, like a theft, maybe a domestic assault, something like that. And then at the end of it, they always have the PI. The PI is the public intoxication charge. So they have the PI, and I've discovered over the years that what it actually means is that's the fuck you big charge. And that's because that is what my client has said to the cop at some point. So when he says that, they throw that in there, that's the PI. As a matter of fact, I've gotten to the point where I can look at my clients and I can usually tell them what they're charged with. And what I do is it's a simple ratio between teeth and tattoos. So I can go through it, you know, so many different teeth, so many different tattoos, the charge equals PI. It's not exactly a scientific thing, but I'll tell you about a case that I had recently. This guy had retained me for $2,500. He said, sort of there in the courtroom, he said, hey, would you be my lawyer? I said, sure. He said, you know, what's the charge? It was a decent exposure charge. I said, sure, I can do it. $2,500. So I go to the DA and I said, I represent Mr. So-and-so. And he said, you represent the Mad White Group. Guys, if the DA has a name for your client, a nickname, before you talk to him, you didn't charge enough money. But I'll tell you this about the Mad White Group. I got him off.
A white guy?
Oh yeah. You know, I was hoping to do this outside because I smoke cigarettes. And, you know, I think with the COVID and all, maybe it's a good time to quit. People say, you gotta quit, you gotta try that Chantix. Anybody in here ever tried Chantix? Quit smoking off of Chantix? Oh, was it successful? Yeah. I tried it, and my friend said to me, it was the attorney I worked with, she said, I want you to be real careful. She said, I tried that Chantix, and it made me suicidal. She said, if you get suicidal at all, she said, I want you to call me. So about a month into taking Chantix, I came home one day and I called her, and she said, you know, what's wrong? I said, oh, it's the Chantix. She said, were you suicidal? I said, no, I'm a homicide. I don't want to kill myself, I want to kill everyone else. Everyone else, and that's Chantix. Or maybe it's just quitting smoking. You know, this is the part where I usually will try to tell the story of the baby possum, but I never get to finish it. So I'm going to move on. Instead I'm going to tell you a new one. I'm going to tell you about the PlayStation 3. Yeah, that's how long ago this was. My ex-wife had got me a PlayStation 3 and got the warranty with it. And you're supposed to be able to get, take it into the store and get a new one. And so I said, oh, okay, you know, we'll pay the extra $100 or whatever it was for that. So I get it, and I take it home. My older brother wanted to see it at Christmas, so I took it to him and I said, and here's how it works. It's pretty cool. I plugged it into his TV and nothing. I mean, the light didn't come on, nothing. It was just dead in the water, so I'm looking at it and trying to figure out what's wrong. Oh my God, I have a Tomcat. And my Tomcat had peed all over this PlayStation 3 and shorted it out. So my ex-wife's all like, oh, that's going to void the warranty. The hell it is. So I got that thing, and I got Clorox wipes in like a pen or something, and I detailed it. I mean, you could not smell a whiff of cat litter by the time I was done. So I got it, I took it into the store, boom, I was so proud of myself. Although, every time I think about it now, there's some guy in Japan that's opening up that box to look at it and go, oh, cat pee, more cat pee on this one. You know, and it's just, to me, you got to be careful with the warranty stuff because you don't want to void the warranty. Anyway, I hope I haven't ruined comedy for tonight, and I hope that the rest of you do much better than I have. Thank you.
Guys, give another round of applause for Tim Merritt. All right, let's go ahead and bring up our next guy. Some of them wrote intros for me, so I'm just going to read them off. So this is Shane. He comes all the way from Knoxville. Stupid intro. Okay. He's every lady's dream man. Okay, this is getting even dumber. All right. He is a CPA, banker, and beekeeper. Almost read that wrong. Welcome, the least funny person in the class, signed Shane. He signed that himself. Okay. That was really sad. Guys, give a huge round of applause for Shane.
Our instructor's a bit of a jerk. Oh man. Good evening. Does this beer have alcohol in it? No. Because I needed to get through these jokes. And you needed to get through my jokes. Well, I'll tell you what, I love this weather. East Tennessee has the best weather because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, today I'm sitting outside. I just came from teaching my son tennis lessons in shorts. And tomorrow, I think I've got to wear my parka. And, Tennessee has more variety in its weather than a Lady Gaga's wardrobe closet. Thank you. That was my best one. Well, I'll tell you a real quick story because this actually happened today since I'm here drinking beer. And, I like beer. So I was pulling up to my son's school at Rocky Hill. And the teacher opens up the door and my son's about to get into the car. And out rolls a bottle of Highland Porter beer. And it crashes on the ground. And the teacher goes, oh my. And I said, oh my! I'm sorry, it's empty. Oh man, I've already gone blank here on that thing. So anyway, it's going to get cold. One day you're sitting here in your short sleeve shirts, the next day you're burning and you're wearing your parka and your mittens. And that's probably what's going to happen this weekend. But you know what makes me really love this weather? The thought of going on a cruise. Does anybody here ever been on a cruise? Does anybody here like going on a cruise? I want to go on a freaking cruise. And I want to go on a cruise right now. I love the idea of cruises. There's 3 types of people on cruises. You got senior citizens, you got your families, and you have your alcoholics. Guess which one I am? I'm not old, and I never take my family. So anyway, one time my wife decided to surprise me, and she and her best friend took me and her best friend's husband to a cruise. And we flew out, everything was well planned. I mean, this thing was planned perfectly. So we fly out of Knoxville, we fly out of Tyson, we fly down to Orlando, and she's got it the night before. So we're leaving at 3 o'clock the next day, so we land, we get over to a hotel, right there by Port Canaveral. Does everybody know where Cape Canaveral is? Cape Canaveral's right by the ocean, right by like Daytona Beach. So we get down there, and I'm just excited about this cruise. I go to bed. We get up in the morning. We got plenty of time. I mean, it's 3 o'clock. There's no way we can miss this cruise. So we get it done. We go over to Olive Garden and get the all-you-can-eat breadsticks and salad because, you know, they're going to starve us on the cruise, and we got to have our breadsticks. So we get done with that, and then we're driving over to the cruise, and we get over to Port Canaveral, and we're taking a Royal Caribbean. Has anybody been on the Royal Caribbean? It's great. You know what it looks like. Do you know what Carnival ships look like? Well, they look different. So we pull up, and all I see is one ship in the harbor. And I am not kidding you. It is a Carnival ship and not a Royal Caribbean. So we pull up to the guard shack where we have to show our IDs, and we said, when is the Royal Caribbean ship leaving? Because we don't see it. And they said, well, Royal Caribbean left yesterday. And I said to my wife, oh my God, get out the itinerary right now. I want to see it, and I want to see it now because you booked us on the wrong day. So we get the itinerary out. She goes, oh my God, and here it is. It is today. It's at 3 o'clock. It is on January the 13th. That's today, isn't it? I said, yeah, that's today. It's Port Lauderdale. For those of you who forgot, I'm at Port Canaveral. And she goes, and this is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I say, well, you know, she goes, how far is it away? I said, 8 frickin' hours. Except I didn't say frickin'. And I said some other words that, you know, are not real good either. Anyway, my phone's going off here. I gotta take my medicine. So, we're going down so we get done, and I said, oh my God, we're gonna miss the cruise. And we look at our phone, and we look at Google Maps. And Google Maps says it's 2 hours and 41 minutes to get there, and it's 1 o'clock. So, for those of you who don't do math, 1 hour and 2 hours and 41 minutes means that we're going to be 41 minutes late for this cruise.
Oh no!
So what do? We've got 7 children between us, and we're like, okay, well, I'm an accountant, so I figured out that I have to go 95 miles an hour down the interstate to get there and be there on time. So what do we do as responsible parents? We say, heck yeah, we can do it! And we go 95 miles an hour, and I'm cutting out like 7 pages of narrative here because I'm boring. And we get down there, we get all the way down there, and let me tell you, we were in a Grand Caravan, Dodge Grand Caravan, that's a minivan. We're going 135 miles an hour at one point. Very responsible of us. And we get to the cruise port with 1 minute to spare. We get inside and we get up to the ticket counter. Let me tell you, if you want to sneak on marijuana and cocaine onto a cruise, show up 1 minute before it's ready to leave. Because they just threw our bags and they just passed security altogether. And we get on, we throw it up there, and we get up there, and the lady says, all I need for you to get on the plane, or get on the ship, are your passports. And I looked at my wife, and she looked at me, and guess what? We went to South Beach, Miami for vacation, because we did not get on that cruise. And that is the least funny stand-up comedy joke ever. And I forgot every single one that I had written.
All right, let's keep moving along. You ready over here? You didn't write me an intro, so I can say whatever I want. I'm sorry. I don't know you that well yet. It's gonna get worse, so it's a class gonna trust me. Yeah, Ray, you're screwed. Trust me. I know. All right, guys, I'm gonna bring out my next performer for this evening. This guy, I'm really excited to listen to. He's a retired fire captain here in Knoxville. And I've already heard some of his stories, and I'm already excited to hear this. So guys, give a huge round of applause to Dean Fontaine.
Good evening, I'm Captain Fontaine, Captain retired. Not a funny man. I'm a serious man who's seen a lot of funny shit. And I can give you some of that now. You may ask yourself who could possibly be funny about death, destruction, and mayhem, but it turns out quite a bit. Let me put this out there first, that like when I was dating my wife, she asked me, so the job, is it just like Chicago Fire? And I said, every damn day. But those kind of lies got me married. But tonight I'm going to tell you the absolute truth, things that really happened right here in Knoxville. This is amazing. This is one of my favorite stories. We got dispatched at about 2 a.m. We showed up to a sketchy neighborhood. There was a redneck in his underwear in the driveway. Flagged us in. We go up there. We said, "Okay, sir, what's the problem? What happened?" He said, "Hey, your comer's stuck." I don't know what that means. Okay, just show me. Just take me to him. So we go inside. We find a 28-year-old woman in bed, naked, having a full-blown grand mal seizure. We quickly assessed her, found out her blood sugar was extraordinarily low. We started an IV, pushed D50, bada bing, she's fine. Now that the emergency's over, I started thinking, what the hell's going on here? And I thought back about what he said when we came in. Her gunner stick. Are y'all starting to make the connection? You figuring it out yet? They were mid-coitus when she had a seizure.
Oh no!
Making him believe that he had just created a non-stop orgasm. Yes, they really did that. I didn't bother explaining the medical technicalities to him because I didn't have all night. So I just left him believing that, and I'm sure he uses that in bars now to women. Honey, my loving's so good, I damn near killed a woman one time.
Oh man!
I know that's happening. I got into trouble a lot for talking in the fire department. One of the last times I got called to the chief's office was we were dispatched for an OBGYN call. A woman was supposed to be giving birth. We showed up. She's 20 years old. This is her 5th child. 5. I hold it in. I don't say anything. The ambulance shows up. She's actually not that close to labor. She's got some time to go. The ambulance crew shows up. We pass her off to them. I've got my mouth shut. We leave the apartment. We go down the hallway. We go down the stairs. We go out the door. We're entering the parking lot before my private says, "Damn, 20 years old and 5 kids." And I said, "I know. It's a vagina. It's not a clown car."
Oh my God! Oh man!
But it gets better. Just then I heard a bang as the window slammed closed. And right there was her glaring at me from the window. She had gone to close the window before they left. And she heard me. I was like, I'm going to get called in on this one. I know I will. And I did. So, that's the kind of thing I got told. But it's like, Chief, you got to give me this one. I held it in all the way to the parking lot. Please. That didn't help. But some of the other ones I got called in on, we go to a heart attack. We go to the house. There's like 15 cars in the yard. We knock on the door, nobody answers. We go on in, I hear voices in the back. We go to the back bedroom, and there's like 20 people standing around the bed, holding hands, and there's a preacher there, and he's going, "Devil, we rebuke you and order you to leave this good woman." And we're standing there, and we're like, And he's like, oh, the paramedics are here. Let's let these good people do their job. But they didn't let us do our job. They all stayed in the room, got in the way, so we're struggling to get our equipment set up, and I look up the electrocardiogram, and we burn off the strip, and I'm reading it, interpreting the strip, and he comes over, and the preacher, he puts his chin on my shoulder and says, what does that say? And I said, no, it says the devil's still in there. And right there I go like, oh shit, did I say that out loud? I could tell by the look on his face, I said that out loud. I was like, oh, I'm going to get called in on this again, and I did. But a similar call was in the projects just a few blocks up here. We went into an apartment for an older woman having a heart attack, and this time there's 6 gangbangers in the room.
Oh no!
Yeah, and you know they're not going to be helpful. So I give her aspirin. She looks like she's in real distress. So I give her nitro, I give her aspirin, and the kid says, "Hey, you can't give her nitro." And I'm like, "Oh, why not? I've never heard anybody being allergic to nitro." And he says, "That gives her a headache." Well, nitro gives everyone a headache, 100% of the time. So he's already really annoying me. So then I hook up the electrocardiogram, and we're burning a strip, and he comes over and is like, "You're going to be okay, Grandma," and pats her on the back, and that screws up my printout. So I'm going to have to do that again. So I tear it off, and he goes, "What's that say?" And I'm like, "Well, here, you take a look at it." I'm being a smart ass. I hand him the useless electrocardiogram, and I got to do another one. They all look at it, and they pass it around, and they all agree the situation's pretty serious. So they don't know what they're looking at. But then the ambulance shows up, and the paramedic comes in. I said, I think we should start amniotic on immediately. And he goes like, well, let's wait till we get her in the rig. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then the gang member says, I said, hey, you best do what that fireman said. And I'm like, no, it's okay, Tyrell. We can wait. And the so we get loaded, we get out there in the ambulance paramedic's like, what the hell, man? What was that about? I'm like, yeah, I'm a crip. The other guy thought that I valued his opinion, and I included him in the process by showing him that. But really, I was just being a smart ass. Lucky I didn't get shivved. You guys ever seen those little mace canisters that women carry when they jog? Yeah. And have y'all ever seen an albuterol inhaler? You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, that happened. That happened right up here on Broadway. Drunk girl in a bar, had an asthma attack, got her mace, and at first that wasn't funny because she really nearly died. But after we got her to the hospital alive, then it was funny. We have time for one more thing.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
I've already lauded you twice, but that's okay.
Oh, I didn't see. Okay, this is pretty quick. I just offered the fire department. Let me tell you something about my wife. She's a real sweet, nice person. She's nothing like you people. She doesn't know cuss words or double entendres or slang language or anything. So we were going through the drive-thru at Hardee's, and it was taking a while. She had a hamburger, I had a chicken sandwich, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And she's like, wow, what do they have to kill the cow? I said, or choke the chicken. And she goes, yeah. And she doesn't know what I'm talking about. And we get up there, and the guy says, I'm sorry it took so long. She says, wow, yeah, did you have to choke the chicken? Oh, no! And the guy looks at her like, damn, that was uncalled for. And I'm spitting up coffee and having a little seizure trying to keep from laughing. And then we pulled out, and she's like, what was all that about? And I was like, that's when you said choke your chicken. She says, so? I'm like, you know what that means? And she says, no, and I told her what it means, and then she's horrified, and now she won't ever go back to the Hardee's again because that guy might be working there. Thank you.
Guys, give another huge round of applause for Dean Fontaine. All right. so our next performer, now this guy took my very first class 4 years ago. And he's made a name for himself all over town. He's been doing stand-up ever since. Everybody in town knows him in every show. Former professor. Anything else you want?
I'm great with the girls.
Good luck with that one tonight, Clippers. All right, this guy's a very, very funny guy. And I'm excited he's here. Oh, you're sitting back down.
You go on ahead. Ramble on there. I'm ready.
I will say, the very first class I ever did, I had 19 people in it. He's the very last one that has to give their name in the room. And it's mostly a younger crowd, I'd say, for the most part. We get to him, I was like, hey, so what's your name? Tell us. He just goes, Cool Breeze, that's my name. I was like, what the hell is this? Who is this guy? But now everybody in Knoxville knows you as Cool Breeze. So now I'm going to introduce you as Cool Breeze. You can get back up now.
I will stand up.
I'm not talking that long. All right. It's not my job tonight. Guys, give a huge round of applause for the one and only Cool Breeze.
Well, that's most unexpected. I just came here for the bologna sandwich and the cheap beer, and here he asked me to be funny. Well, I'll sit down here. Because, as Alex may have mentioned, I'm a very advanced age. I'm the last remaining living veteran of the Spanish-American War. Did you know that? I was with Teddy Roosevelt at San Juan Hill. Yeah. He was a real asshole. Don't get me started. Well, I recently bought a car. How many of you here have a car? Okay. That car is wonderful. Well, I went down to CarMax and I started asking around to being a retired professor and a born smartass. I couldn't help myself. I said, I'd like a car. Well, you've come to the right place, sir. I said, but I don't want a wimpy car. I'll sell these Accords, these Sentras, these Civics. I want something that'll make a statement with the ladies. You know, and I said, show me your ass-kicker vehicles. Are they in the back here? He looked at me like it was a Arabian lunatic, which I am, but that's beside the point. And I said, okay, I see you're out of ass kickers. What about your cop killer? You have a cop killer? I'm thinking that'd be great, you know, if the cop pulls you over sometime, you're going 95 in the school zone. He says, you know how fast you're going, sir? I look up at him and say, do you know what I'm driving, officer? Well, that might get me sent to the federal pen, but never mind. Let's get on down the highway. I like to drive. As you may have noticed, I'm not very ambulatory. My mobility is restricted. I can only run a 100-meter dash in about 15 seconds, for example. So I like to drive. I like to drive a car. And being an English professor, I notice the signs. And they're incredibly stupid. You know, I'm cruising along Highway 168 the other day, and I come upon a sign next to the railroad tracks, and the sign says, no stopping on tracks. Well, the IQ level of East Tennessee is even lower than I thought. You need to have a sign to tell people not to stop on a goddamn railroad track. Oh, Lord. But me being a rebel, I say, screw you, big brother. I feel like stopping on the railroad track, and I'm going to do it. That looks like a great place for a picnic. You know, you've got these flashing lights and orange flashing, all these railroad ties. Let's rip them up, make a big bonfire. Well, anyway, then the choo-choo train comes around and I see what they were getting at. So I head on down the highway, and I come to exit State Route 168, and I go on the local county road. And there's another stupid sign here on the right. It says, men working in trees. I said, well, get them down from there. Hell, I can't handle everything, you know? What are they doing? Gathering acorns? It seems, you know, remarkably unsafe. I don't want some burly KUB guy with a helmet and a work belt crashing through my windshield. I got enough to worry about. So, anyway, I cruise on down the highway and I come to another sign. It says, slippery when wet. Well, I'm thinking, what is it? Thank you, Captain Obvious. I took high school physics with Dr. Fairfield. He was an idiot, but I learned the basics of fluid dynamics, you know? Beer mugs, slippery when wet. Footballs, slippery when wet. My girlfriend in bed, slippery when wet. No, just kidding. Sorry about that, kids in the back. Sorry. Yeah, whatever your name is. Okay, well, well, I have a kid. I have a girlfriend. I have a cat. She's a very nice cat. Great pussy. But never mind. Well, let's elevate the discourse. Let's get up here on this elevated highway, the interstate. First thing I see on the right, no non-motorized vehicles. God damn it, it's Big Brother again. This is Thursday. Don't they know I always take my ox cart out for a spin? On I-40. But here I am, I'm part Amish, by the way, and I won't tell you what part. But anyway, I'm getting up here on the interstate, and you know, I don't have time for this shit. I'm going to take my ox cart out for a spin. Next thing I know, I look up and there's this gruesome sign. You ever see this? West Knoxville, it says, traffic deaths on Tennessee Highway so far this year, 289. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Well, how grisly, you know? I don't need that either. You remind me of my own mortality. I'm just taking my ox cart out for a spin, and you're telling me I'm going to die. So I'm so distracted, and looking at the sign, I plow into another vehicle. I mean, he's back. It's another ox cart. We got an Amish dad and his wife and 2 kids. You know, death toll was 289, and now it's 295. That's counting the oxen, by the way. Yeah. We got the oxen, okay? So I'm cruising on the highway further, and I see this sign that says, vehicle patrolled by low-flying sheriff's vehicles. I'm thinking, I'm highly educated. You just committed the cardinal sin in military science. You've revealed your position. You probably don't realize that I have an RPG in my trunk. So I turn around to my cop killer car here, and I get on my RPG and shoot that motherfucker down. So anyway, well, enough of this nonsense. I'm sure Alex is shining a bright light in my eyes. He's got some kind of a fetish. I don't know what this is. Here, I will blind you. Okay, so let's get off here at my subdivision. It's a very trendy subdivision. I won't name it. You know, I don't want to embarrass the other residents and so forth. But you ever see this sign that says, "Drive like your kid lives here"? You ever see that here? I'm thinking, joke's on you, bro. You don't know what I do in my neighborhood. I like to attach the kids as a bungee cord to the back of my big pickup truck, you know, the cop killer. Especially when it's icy and snowing, I'll just fly down the highway or the cul-de-sac there till the bungee cord breaks and they fly over the retaining pond and through the side of a house. Okay? Is that what you want? I'm your guy. All right, Alex, that's all I got. Thank you.
Applause for Cool Breeze. All right, let's move on. Let's move along. All right, so who knows what's going to happen next here on this one. So he's taken all 12 of my classes. I don't even need to say your name anymore. I don't know what he's going to do. He can sing, he can do props, he can do jokes. From the looks of it looks like props tonight, but he's probably going to sing too. I don't know what's going on. So, he's a very good friend of mine. This guy's, he's come along really good, great. He's one of the best MCs. If you ever need an MC for an event, this guy is one of the best I've ever seen. He brings more energy to the crowd than anybody I've ever seen. So, guys, give a huge round of applause for the one and only Black Leprechaun, or is that what we're going with tonight? Or are we going right there?
Ring 4.
Hey, last days of autumn, how you doing tonight? Yeah! Wow, wonderful. I didn't even have to ask again. Hey, so, and I know what you're thinking. Black leprechaun, this far away from Ireland. What did they put in those drinks? Seriously, what they put in those drinks? You'll never believe it, but I was once I was born a poor white child, and the trip to Africa fixed that. I got quite a sunburn, believe me. Before we get to this funny stuff, I just want to let you guys know my medical background. I don't know if there's a doctor in the house, whatever. I'm bipolar, ADD, and autistic. Yeah, even Dr. Gavorkian's going, can I just, why don't you bring him to me? Aww. Hey, he laughed. It was worse, me and the people who laughed. Thank you. That's for you, I'm still here, aren't I? But I've always been like this. I was in the, are you guys familiar with the satellite program at school? They label it as for people who have trouble in the main classes, or as I call them, nonconformists. And God bless the nonconformists. We are a nation of individuals, by golly. Thank you. But because my mind is in such odd places, I had to go through a ton of medication. I mean, and half of them didn't do anything. I swear. Some of them, I didn't even get a side effect. Have you ever heard of that? Apparently the doctors had it, because by the time I was in high school, they were just like, we can't help you. One of them I did get a side effect on. Of all the possible side effects I could have gotten, the darn thing gave me a seizure. In a swimming pool. I had a seizure in, I almost said 2 words at once. I had a seizure in a swimming pool. Can we agree on something? If the pill you're subscribing does anything along the lines of a heart attack, a seizure, a stroke, or send your entire digestive tract going south on the first day, I don't want it! I don't want it! I'm not your guinea pig, Doc! No one should hear Bugs Bunny's infamous phrase, what's up, Doc? And hear the response, lawsuit. Well, that's enough of that. Hey, here's a few one-liners. Did you hear the one about the porcelain figures? These two porcelain figures were having an argument. One's male, one's female. The female's like, we can't break up. You're breaking up. And the male is like, kiss my glass. Yeah, scrap it, it gets worse. Have you heard of this animal called tree goats? The goats that actually live in a tree. Yeah. I looked at a picture of it. It looked like a Muslim family tree, to be quite honest with you. Don't worry, if anyone's getting in trouble for that one, it's me. And I was wondering, we're talking about animals. Did you hear the one about the camel with no humps? They named him Humphrey. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys are here. You know, I got axed for my last job. The manager didn't care for that haircut. Not like she didn't need it. What's crazy? She had all that hair down her back. Not on her hair, just down her back. Anyway. Yeah, you don't have to forgive me. I've been inside a little too long, so I'm a little tired. So, now where was I? Oh, yeah. Did you hear about the epileptic vegetarian? The epileptic vegetarian that was on death row. Her last meal was a seizure salad. You know, I am really glad they didn't hand out custard pies at this, because I'd get hit with them. Okay, well, okay. I forgot what I I was going to do next. Don't you hate it when that happens? Here we go. Did you realize, but I'm standing up, people have nothing to say. Okay, okay, what do you get when you cross the Atlantic with the Titanic? Halfway. That was only half the joke. What do you get when you cross the Pacific with the Titanic? Nothing, they didn't make it that far. And knowing that, they're rebuilding the Titanic exactly the way it was. You know what? Why don't we just run it into an iceberg and get it over with? If we're going to repeat history, why don't we just rebuild the Hindenburg, for crying out loud? Yeah, great idea. Let's put something that high in the sky filled with flammable substance and try to figure out why it burst into flames. And a lit cigarette could have brought that thing down, okay? Okay, but I'm not surprised. We have a world full of people that, like a couple years ago, there was a train of people, a ton of people that walked right up the side of Mount Everest. For those of you who don't know, Everest is the highest mountain on the planet. They didn't go with any special equipment. They didn't get bring oxygen. And I'm thinking, so what do you think's gonna happen? Evolution might hide we are devolving at an alarming rate if this is what's going on. Well, normally I do this joke, but I'm going to try a different one tonight. This is a very quick joke because I'm out of time. I used to watch Barney the Dinosaur a lot, and hey, I've seen what passes children's entertainment these days. I'm not impressed. But a friend of mine, when we were little, we would watch these tapes, and one of them was called Barney's Campfire Sing-Along. Now I watched that. Now that was his tape. I went to tell my mom what it was. Now I told her the name. My mom sometimes has a little trouble hearing. That's what happens when you get older, I hear. So when I said Barney's, it's nothing against old people, okay? We're all gonna get old eventually. So when I said Barney's Campfire Sing-Along, she thought I said Barney can't find his ding-dong. Okay. And I'm thinking, okay, what kind of messed up Jurassic Park is... Okay, that is quite enough out of me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good night.
So Ray has taken my class 12 times now, which means you performed like 40-something times, which means for like the 40-something time after you performed, I need to order another beer. No, good job, Ray. Hey, your axe is right. Sorry, here's your axe.
I'm gonna get
You leave some weird shit on the stage, I will tell you. Oh, hold on. Y'all are way less enthusiastic. You were at the beginning. All right.
We gotta know who it is first.
Getting drunker now. Sorry. Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring up your next guy. I'm excited to hear him. This is the first one. It's good. All right, so I'm going to read his intro. He's one of the few that actually wrote an intro like you're supposed to. All right, good job. Kevin Robertson. He's from Townsend, Tennessee, and he's retiring in 2 weeks. Woo! And he wants to be a helicopter when he grows up. Guys, give a huge round of applause for the very funny Kevin Robertson.
Thank you, thank you. Last time anyone clapped for me was over the party by myself. That was earlier today. Okay, I'm a little nervous. I need you guys to picture me naked. Wait. appropriate if I start out with the first joke I ever wrote a long time ago? It's really corny. Why is it okay for Jesus to leave the door open? He was born in a barn. Okay, tell a little story about my grandfather, my great-grandfather. I was in the living room, on the couch, in his chair, rocking chair, blanket on his lap, eyeglasses, Einstein, hair, smoking a pipe, Norman Rockwell, great-grandfather. He's over there puffing his pipe, you know, the flame jumps up from the electric pipe, caught his hair on fire. I panicked, jumped up, rushed over there, and he just calmly reached up there and patted it out. And I was just dumbfounded, you know, how could this guy be that calm? I don't know if he's just a mild person, or maybe this is something that happened a lot. Or maybe it's old people meds, I don't know. I've got a coworker. Her name, I'm not going to say because she might be embarrassed or get mad at me. Anyway, when Emma was about 12 years old, in grade school, they give you a test to see what profession you might be suited for. Hers came back taxidermist. Well, she said she was very disappointed. And I understood because I happen to know Emma's a vegetarian. So I'm sure stuffing dead animal carcasses wouldn't be her thing. Turns out, that's not why she was disappointed. She was disappointed she didn't know anything about taxes. except that they were boring. So later we got to thinking, you know, maybe there is something to that college course. Maybe in her living room, instead of a lion's head, she's got a head of lettuce. Another friend of mine, John, this was back in high school. He took his girlfriend to a banquet in Knoxville. We're from a small town, Townsend. Anybody know where Townsend is? Everybody can't go. Okay, so we don't get to the big city much. He takes her, finds a parking area, pulls his car up to the gate. It doesn't open. He inches a little forward. It still won't open. He's in a little low hooded car. He's up under the gate, keeps inching forward till the gate's in his right here, in front of his windshield. Meanwhile, there's a line of cars behind him, you know, getting impatient. The guy in the car behind him gets out, storms up there, yanks the ticket out of the machine and hands it to him. They get it open. I'm sure that guy's walking back to his car, what a dumbass. And if I was John, I'd be sitting in the car thinking, I'm a dumbass. To make it worse, his girlfriend was dying laughing. So thanks for the support, Andy. Appreciate that. Okay, I got another short one. Another friend of mine, when he was little, his dad gave him a talk, you know, the birds and the bees sex talk. Took him around behind the house, set him down. He said he could tell his dad was nervous. His dad said, son, you put your woo-woo in her wah-wah and go woo-hoo. That was it. That was the sex talk. And y'all have young kids, you might want to use that. That's about all. I'm maybe about out of time. Oh.
No, you got 12 minutes
I accidentally gave y'all a PG version. So I'm going to do a quick recap of the adult version of the jokes I just told. Okay. Nobody clapped for me for going to the party. They clapped for me not shitting on myself. And we're not supposed to picture everyone naked. We're supposed to get everyone with their dicks and tits hanging out. And my grandfather, he caught his hair on fire. Stench, you know how burning hair smells. But I caught it lamp design. That was the first time I suspected my great-grandfather was a Nazi. I can't find anything funny about that. Okay, let's see. Taxidermy, vegetarian, fucking vegetarians. Okay, after the parking lot gate incident, they got in, got parked. John had a how dare you after me sex. I don't know about y'all, but that's pretty much the only kind of sex I have. The wee wah wah joke, I cannot improve on that. Okay, since none of them big hooks have yanked me down yet, I see no flashing lights. One more small one. We were at a get-together. We were all eating course to boards. We had a cheese ball, crackers, port wine cheese ball. Anybody familiar with port wine cheese? Well, somebody said, "What kind of cheese is this?" And John said, "Looks like minstrel cheese to me." This day, jumps up, walks out, walks home. Stays there over and over again. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Ready for your first female. And the only female. That just keeps taking the class. I feel bad for her because she's surrounded by all of this. Her name is Laura Paulson. Her name is Laura Paulson. Her name is Laura Paulson. Have you guys never watched Fight Club before? Her name is Laura Paulson.
Yeah, if we did, we wouldn't have said yeah.
Okay, I know. The rest of it is really screwing this shit up. Never mind. It's not from Fight Club. Not screw up your show. Yeah. I'm the worst thing ever. So I don't do that anymore. Alright. Now guys, give me keep trying to applause. It's very, very funny. And I'm going to go grab a beer and do your set because I've already heard you before. Alright. I'll take my number with me.
Alright, bring me into it.
Up next, her name is Laura Paulson.
Yeah! Alright, so that's such a... Alex said that to me before. Her name is Laura Paulson. I never have seen Fight Club with Brad Pitt and... I don't remember.
The movie, yeah.
Right? So, and then towards the end of the movie, his name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. They're talking about a dead man, right? It's a guy that has no identity, it's a dead guy, and they want to make sure he's known, right? So that's the sort of expectation that Alex has of me. I'm just, her name is Laura Paulson. I can only go up from there. So anyway, like Alex said, this is the second time I've taken this class. First time I signed up for it, I thought, all right, hoping I'm stuck at home, I'm kind of new here, it's a great way to meet people. I'm going to go and practice public speaking. It's going to be great. And make girlfriends. I have no girlfriends in Knoxville, so this is awesome. I'm going to go take this class, I'll meet some funny people. And I met you all.
Sorry.
They're very funny, but all guys. So I thought, all right, I had a really good time with them, I'm going to try again. There'll be more people next time, Alex tells me. So I show up for the first night of class. He didn't tell me this, by the way, he could have. 10 guys this time. I went up from 6 guys to now I've got 10 guys in my class. No women in this class, so there's a couple of women here. Thank you very much.
I'll be your friend.
Thank you. I don't need it. So I thought, how? I'm going to go ahead and use my 5 minutes here, Alex, to recruit for your class. We need more women in comedy. And so my whole life, I'm the only girl. I have 4 brothers. I'm in engineering. We're all boys everywhere I go. And I question myself. So here I'm in comedy, and I'm like, maybe guys are better at comedy than girls. That's why it's all guys. What is it that makes a good comedian? You know, who tells a good storyteller? It's people who notice details, you know, can really tell you a whole story and take all the pictures to it. Who's good at that? And I thought about it. I actually ran into some friends today in Market Square this afternoon.
Scared, it's fun.
Scared? It was scary. It was. So they just had lunch. So Jake and Sheila had just had lunch. Beautiful day to be outside today, like we're all pretending it's summer. Jake's a musician, funny, talkative, great guy. He's got his girlfriend with him. She's kind of quiet. She's got an engineering job like me, so you wouldn't think much, not say much. So I asked him, what'd you have for lunch? And Jake, musician, talking funny. I had a hamburger, it was pretty good. Sheila, who I don't really know, what'd you have for lunch? A panini. There was a schmear of pesto, and they had this really ripe tomato that was grown in a greenhouse in Maryville. And so I was talking to the owner about it, and he was just like, yeah, I got the idea when I was traveling in France. Like, this is the best sandwich ever, right? And she's like, let me show you a picture. Sheila's ready to do a whole documentary on her sandwich. Who's going to be funnier, find the weird stuff that happens in life between these two? I'm going with Sheila. So then I started thinking about that in my own life, like what is, how, I have 4 brothers, right? How do we all respond to things? So last fall we went to a family thing in Reno, Nevada. Weird place to go with my brother, but we were staying in a fancy Harris Casino hotel. Which at one point, this was the fanciest hotel in Reno. Maybe it still is. I'm a little afraid of Reno. So we get there, we do our stuff, and he goes, like, let's have some time in our rooms, right? So we have a couple hours by ourselves in the room, and we meet up downstairs for a drink. So I say to my brother, who's a little bit older than me, I'm ready for a whiskey, right? Like, I've had a couple of hours of scariness. Jim, how's your room? And he's like, my room's great. There's a couple pillows, I got a big TV, the remote works. My room's great. What? Something wrong with your room? Oh, yeah. So first of all, I get in there and I want a cup of tea. Afternoon, we've been traveling, I want a cup of tea. I can't find the coffee maker. Where the hell's the coffee maker? It is directly across from the toilet. I have no more interest in teas or coffee. No, I'm done, right? So no coffee. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to get some milk down while I'm up here. I sit down at the desk, in a chair, which I notice has got some kind of organic drip going down the side of it. Nothing you want to look at too closely. But I made a piece of paper. Open the drawer. Right? You see Gideon's Bible in most places? Not in Reno, Nevada, and Harris. There's a catalog of adult activity streets. Right. I'm just going to sit down and just quietly relax before I'm going to meet up with my family. And the air conditioner's going, and I'm looking out the window, and I notice the big light fixture right there by the window, right? The big lampshade. And it has little dingly things hanging down from it, like fringe that's covered in dust bunnies or whatever, right? So as that air goes through it, flows like a blonde person with long hair in a convertible, right? Like there's just flowing hair as it goes through there. It's a big hairy lampshade. So I'm telling my brother this. Well, just saying, what do you mean my roommate? Coffee is by the toilet. I've got adult activities in the drawer. And then I try to relax and I see a big hairy lampshade. And he's like, Laura? My older brother, big Irish Catholic family, by the way. I knew Mom and Dad never should have sent you off to college. I went to Madison, Wisconsin. If anyone knows, there's a lot to that. What? I mean, that's disgusting. Why would there be a hairy lampshade in my room? He's like, who did you invite up? What the hell do you mean, who did I invite up? It's a lampshade. He's like, Laura, that is not what a hairy lampshade is. So, huh? Yeah. I need a phone.
Your new female friends. The last one, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, she's so great. I think, alright, so my brother's quite angry with me, right? Conservative guy. What the hell is a hairy lampshade?
Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary? First fucking thing that comes up. Hairy lampshade. To stick a light bulb into someone's ass. Then screw a working, not a non-working, but a working lamp, minus the shade, into the bulb. Then you turn the lamp on, thus creating a hairy lampshade. Now, also, it does let you know this works best as long as the ass is moderately hairy. So, to all the women who are still here, see, girls see the details. My brother saw a remote. I saw a hairy lampshade, a whole lot more fun. So please come take the class with me. I need some friends. Thank you very much.
We all found out about the hairy lampshade last week at class. That was I've been disturbed about that for a week now.
Have you tried it?
Twice. Twice, but it's not as good as it's described. She does it.
You tried your wife?
Huh? I just did it by myself. Yeah, it's a lot hard. I can't even screw a light bulb into like a regular. Try to do it to yourself. Yeah.
Hey, Alex, sit and spin. He's envisioning it. Light bulb, sit and spin. If you go in the right direction, an actual book thread on the way.
Don't buy the new light bulbs, the twisty ones. Yeah, those.
I gotta find a picture. That's
Christmas lights are the best. We just found out today he's already got booked to do a paid show in Cookville, Tennessee. We'll give him a huge round of applause. I'm very proud. Because my class, a lot of people that take my class don't actually want to be comedians because that's stupid because we don't make any money. So it's more of a bucket list for a better speaker at work or whatever. But this guy he's going for it hard, and I'm really proud of him. I'm really excited to watch him go. Should I tell the story? No. You want? Should we go ahead? You sure? Well, I'll tell a real quick story because it's the funniest thing that's ever happened to me in my class. So, last semester, or the last class I had, the first night in the classroom we had 7 students. We got 1 student who can't wear a mask for medical reasons, and so the dean, or I keep calling him the dean, he's really the director of UT, non-credit, comes in the classroom, he's like, hey, we can't do that, either we have to cancel the class, or he's got to leave, or whatever. So, we do. Second week rolls around, I come up to the classroom, and the director is sitting outside my classroom. Now, the director of UT, he's exactly what you would think a director of UT would be. Bow tie, very proper, very nice guy, but I love him to death. But he's sitting outside my classroom. I was like, hey, what are you doing here? And he said, hey, we're going to Zoom and live stream your class tonight for your student who can't be here. I was like, well, that's cool and all, but you've never sat in on my class before. I was like, I can't promise what they're going to say. I don't know. It's always different. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm really excited. I was like, all right. So the class starts. Their assignment was to pick one topic to write a joke about. And as a class, we write jokes. And so I'm turned around. The director's sitting right here. He's got the camera on me live. And I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm like, who wants to go first? So Sean, who's getting ready to come up, goes, I'll go first. I was like, all right. He's like, what's your topic? And I got the board out. He goes, rim jobs. I was like, son of a bitch, really? We're starting with that. I was like, oh my God. And I look over at the director. He's got a mask on, and he's just shaking like this. And I'm like, is he laughing or having a seizure? I don't know what he's doing. So I'm like, all right, I got to write this on the board. So I'm like, all right, rim jobs. Is that great? I was like, all right, what's the first word you associate with the word rim jobs? And he goes, my mom. And I'm like, son of a bitch, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, my mom. And I look over the director and he's just like, I'm like, I told your ass not to come to my class. So this goes on for a few minutes, and it just gets weirder and weirder. Look, what was it we wrote after that? Beethoven. Yeah, so I've got on the board written rim jobs, my mom, and Beethoven.
I'll sign up for the class.
I've written... Over 11 years, I've written a shit ton of jokes, but none of them even close to this so far. And so, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sweating. I got tears coming down my face. The dean is just looking at me. The director, whatever the hell it is. So I was like, all right, so we're still writing. Well, then I have another student who's actually in the class now, but he's the only one that didn't show up tonight. So this guy was in the back room. He goes, hey, he's putting his hand up. I'm like, yeah, do you have a question? He's like, yeah, man, I've been listening to this shit for 10 minutes. I still don't know what a rim job is. I'm like, I'm like, and before I can say anything, the director of UT turns around and goes, hey, he's like, why don't you save us all the trouble and just Urban Dictionary it on your phone? And he's like, all right, I got you, Dean, man. And I'm like, all right. So I turn back around, I'm writing on the board. About a couple minutes later, everybody's dying laughing. Like, crying laughing. I was like, what's so funny? I turn around, this guy had almost fallen out of his chair. He was in the back row with his phone like this. I was like, what's so funny? He goes, man, I just Urban Dictionary what rim job is. I was like, okay. And he looks and he goes, hey, Mr. Dean Man, why didn't you just tell me it meant eating ass? And I was like, oh no, that doesn't happen. After the class, I go up to the director of UT and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I tried to tell you I can't control what my students say. And he's like, oh, Alex, I've been with the University of Tennessee for 30 years. That's the best night I have ever had here on campus. And I was like, and to make it even funnier, one of our performances was at Crafty Bastard Brewery. Another great brewery, just like Last Days of Autumn. And thank you, Last Days of Autumn, for having us out today. By the way, I just do that for you, by the way. We were at Crafty Bastard, and Sean's getting ready to go up on stage right when the director of UT walks in, he's wearing his bow tie, and he's like, hey, Alex, is that one student going to do the rim job joke? I want to hear what it's like out loud. And I'm like, fucking Twilight Zone am I in right now, but okay. I was like, by the way, he doesn't do that joke. I do it now. So, but anyways, I'm really excited about Sean. I mean, that is huge. And just, when I first started doing, this is how big a deal this is that he got booked today for a paid show. When I first started doing stand-up 11 years ago, I asked them, I was a single dad with 2 boys. I was like, how long does it take before you headline your first show? They said 8 years. And I did it in a year. It took me, I was like, screw that, I'm not waiting. But it took me a long time to get paid. You're going off of what, 3 months? 3 months? Insane. He's dedicated. I'm so proud. So guys, give a huge round of applause to the very, very funny Sean Dills. I'm sorry if I brought you up to that. If you suck now, then I'm not paying you anymore.
All right, how's everybody doing? All right, most of these jokes are new, so Ray, do your thing, all right? All right. People always ask me, like, Sean, what's up with the hair, man? Well, short answer, I just hate haircuts. But it also reminds me of my idol's hair, Weird Al. Now, I've been mistaken for 3 different celebrities, none of which is Weird Al. I've been mistaken for Post Malone, Tiny Tim, and a pissed off Hagrid. People also say I kind of look like a couch potato Jesus, which is fine. I look like Jesus if instead of him dying for everybody's sins, he kind of just went home and watched Sanford and Son instead. But unfortunately, looking like fat Jesus doesn't help out with the ladies. I used to be really bad at it. My friends would say, man, just be yourself. Do what comes natural. Thanks, Rick. I tried that once. I went to my local Taco Bell. I get to the window. The lady's super attractive. I gave myself a pep talk. I was like, all right, Sean, be yourself. Do what comes natural. So as I go to hand her my debit card, I stopped and smelled it. Because apparently I didn't look like a serial killer enough. I never did that shit. It would have been less creepy if I just pulled up in a hockey mask. Because at least then I wouldn't be able to smell anything, right? Turns out she was a magician. Because when she came back as a black dude. He looked way more scared of me than she did. So I banned my dad from riding in the car with me. Every time he'd ride in the car with me, he'd find something wrong with my car. So
So then we had to go take it to the mechanic, and I spent a shit ton of money. So after 3 times of this happening, I was like, dude, you can't run my damn car anymore. And he goes, well, if something's wrong with it. I don't care if you look out the window and it's on fire. Don't tell me. I will figure it out. Eventually. I'm not the best with cars. Like, if you ever ride with me, like damn emergency lights are flashing, you think I'm playing bingo with you or something. So. All right. So I live in the back road area, which is kind of awesome. There's not a whole lot of traffic, but we get like a lot of wildlife. Now, I would never hit an animal with my car on purpose, but shit happens. And I have hit a rabbit, I've hit a cat, a deer, and an owl. And I told my friend this, and she's like, you hit a what? I said, I hit an owl, you know, a hoot-hoot owl. She goes, well, actually, owls don't make a hoot-hoot sound. Like, you're absolutely right. They make more of a thud sound. All right, now it's time for the dirty stuff, what I'm known for. Yeah. So I have this dyslexia, like when I read something, my words jumble up, and it will spell something else. Like one day I was in the car with my mom, and we're going past this mattress store, and it's a big sign, and it's an old man, he's laying like this, and the tagline was, we'll even tuck you in. But my brain read something different. I read, we'll even fuck you in it. Oh, no! So I made my words quickly spelled the right order. I was like, oh, damn. My mom's like, what? I was like, I almost bought a mattress. I am in an interracial relationship with a beautiful black woman. She's the sweetest and nicest girl ever, except for when I go down on her. Then she becomes a tyrant. I've been going down on her for 30 minutes, come up for some air. She'll be like, oh, I didn't see no red light. I didn't say stop. Green light, motherfucker, go. Every time I go down on her, I have to prepare, like I'm about to prepare to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I got my snacks, my drinks, my comfy pillow, I think we're ready. But dating a black girl isn't much different than dating a white girl. The biggest difference is when I'm with my girl, we're going to listen to something romantic, you know, some R&B. When I was with white girls, I was fucking them to the Goofy movie soundtrack. I did not know. Before I dated my girl now, I dated a bunch of crazy girls. One girl claimed she had a demon living inside of her. I had to let her go. She was clearly taken. So. One girl said she only dreams of murder and genocide. Well, that's fucking awkward. What do I say to that? It's like, well, what race? Not that I'm racist, but I had to sleep with that bitch. I had to know if I was okay or not. So. One girl, every time we would have sex, she would bite her lip and close one eye. So the whole time we're having sex, I'm trying not to laugh because I'm thinking, she's about to drop the dopest Popeye impression out of her. Which I'll think I've never killed my boner. After a month of dating her, I just started keeping cans of spinach by my bed. Just okay. So, trying to lose weight, it's really hard because I eat like a dog with money. I tried an all-apple diet. I got 2 days into it. The first day went okay. I mean, I pooped 6 times. The second day, I just straight shit myself. So, no more apples. It's really hard to lose weight and go on a diet when you work at a grocery store. It's like a recovering porn addict working at a sex shop. Shit ain't just gonna happen. And then every day I go to lunch, I pass this display of chicken sandwiches. It tastes horrible, yet I eat them all the time. It's like I have bad dementia. Like I keep forgetting how bad it is. Like maybe today it won't taste like a shoe. So not only do I taste bad, I feel bad after I eat them. Like I'll be in my car feeling awful. Like I just got done dick touching the gun or something. Alright. I was celebrating my best friend's birthday, and I was like, what do you want to do? So his idea is to go to a KFC buffet. If you ever forget you're depressed, go to a KFC buffet. It'll remind you real quick. Everybody there is miserable. That's before they eat the food. I've seen better morale than an abortion clinic. Could you imagine an abortion clinic with high morale? Let's kill some babies. Last joke. Okay. I was at my best friend's house, and I found he had a cabinet full of cinema, which is weird, because he's highly allergic to cinema. I was like, why would you have a cabinet full of something that'll kill you? It's like if a rat had a cabinet full of rat poison, or if Kurt Cobain had a cabinet full of shotguns. Why would you have this? I believe this is my time. I want to hand it back to Alex.
I do want to say for everybody that's not in the class, we really appreciate you coming out tonight, so give yourselves a huge round of applause. We really appreciate it. It looks like in 2 weeks from tonight, they're going to be doing their second performance at Skybox Sports Bar down on Gay Street, which is a cool place.
Big words.
Video taking me to, yeah. I almost read you crossed out there. So. All right, so you guys ready for your last performer for the evening? All right. He wrote an intro, so I'm going to read it for him. A former Yankee prick. Now new and improved with a splash of hillbilly asshole. It seems about right after talking to you for a couple weeks now. I'm just kidding. No, I love it. Guys, give a huge round of applause for the very funny John Silk. I love it.
Now I'm just getting my fucking phone number right in the damn group text you. Alright, so I don't know why I followed Sean. That some bitch is funny, and I don't get near as dirty as him, so. Anyway, for those of you who don't know in the back, this is a comedy class if you didn't hear up front. I'm a little embarrassed by taking a comedy class. I've been making jokes, insulting people, cracking shit my whole life. Ever since Catholic school when Sister Marie Dildo Butt was beating me to fucking we're doing the same thing, but now I'm paying some dickhead to teach me how to do something I already know how to do. Maybe next semester I'll take use a fork and a knife class. So I do know that it is actually, it's not as easy as it seems. I did take the class once already. I failed. I had a little bit of issue. I didn't put enough study time into how to use a microphone. So. Hey, I'm sorry. I promise I'm working on it, Mr. Splitters. I promise. So the real reason I wanted to perform, I wanted to do this comedy class is because I like being in front of people. I like talking. I like being in front of groups. I like being on stage in the spotlight. Masturbating. I love to masturbate in public. It's what I do. It's what gets me off. I know this is not a huge crowd, but there's something I really want to show everybody, so just bear with me. This belt was given to me by my therapist who tried to stop me. He told me that this belt would help me control myself from touching myself in front of public. But it didn't work, so I fired him. So with that in mind, I want to move on to what I really want to show you guys, and that's this. Hold on. This zipper was sewn into these pants by my wife. And she told me, if you're ever going to do it, just grab that zipper and remember self-control. Use your energy, use your jerk-off energy and focus it into something more positive. Maybe write a book. So that's what I'm doing. I'm writing a book on masturbation. Now, it's not like stop masturbating or control yourself book. It's a how-to book. I'm kind of curious if I do write it, if they're going to put it in a self-help section library. But this book is going to teach you how to masturbate in public. There's new techniques. The French have come up with some really great shit that feels awesome. But the book is actually evolved into something a little bit more. It's foreplay, it's sex with your wife, it's group sex, it's all kinds of sex stuff. My publisher expects a final copy of the book in 3 to 4 months, but my wife said if I stay true to course, I'll probably finish early. Now I am hoping to put it in, to get it in hardcover, but again, my wife said it'll probably be soft. So, no, I mean, I'm funny, but it's kind of a sad book, but there is a happy ending. So, I'll talk about my wife. She's originally from Philly like I am. I love that city. It's a great town. I love being a Yankee. Always something going on, always something to do. But it just started to get too crowded. I had to get out. There was people fucking everywhere. There was loud rudeness. People in Philly are known for being rude. And it just got impossible to find any fucking meth. And it was always really expensive. So I packed up and I moved down here to Tennessee, America's breadbasket of methamphetamines, the meth basket of America, if you will. Now it's no problem finding meth. I just drive around looking for a dirt road with a trailer park at the end. I go in there and I look for anybody with less than 10 teeth and I follow them because I know that's where I can find some meth. It is a little scary though. The last time I was in a trailer, it was a single wide, I was in some meth. There was a husband and wife, there was a couple, there was a father-daughter, there were cousins, there were 2 felons, 2 high school dropouts, and it sounds like a lot of people, but it was really just 2 of them. But that's when you get meth, that's what you got to deal with. Not like you can just go buy in a retail store, which, by the way, I do work in retail. I work at the post office. Hold your applause. Hold your standing ovation. I know how much everybody loves the post office, but I wanted to talk about retail stuff. If you've never been in retail, you get a crazy kind of customer. You meet all kinds of people. I really want to talk about the one that really pisses me off are the fucking change ladies, and I'm sure there's some here tonight with 10 pounds of fucking change in their purse. It adds up to $27, and they carry this shit around so that when it's 89 cents, they don't want you to give them back a dime and a penny, so instead they carry their 30 fucking pounds of change. I also want to talk about one other thing, boob money. Do you guys know what boob money is? Boob money. When it's hot in the summer, women are wearing their spandex or they're wearing their little short shorts and they don't have pockets. They keep their fucking money in their bra. It sounds kind of cool if you're a dude, but maybe once every year there's some hot chick that you'll actually want to help them get the money out. The rest of the time it's somebody that you really don't want to help, you don't want to see their boob, and you don't want money from under their boob. And it seems like every time they give it to you, because it's a summer, it's sweaty, it's wet, it's fucking nasty. It feels like they just came from the gym, but you know from looking at them that they fucking probably didn't. Those people also sometimes wear spandex, which is another thing I want to talk about, spandex. I like spandex, I love spandex actually. Most men in here do. We love that spandex is a trend with women, yoga pants, seeing these women walk around with their butts and everything. But I have a couple requests. Number one, I think we should go to all yoga pants manufacturers and maybe make a law that they should not be made in a size XXL or above. They should be like Hooters pants. Only certain sizes. Let's not get out of control. Some people don't even look good in a moo-moo, so we don't need that shit shoved in a fucking sausage casing, all right?
Oh, man.
And one more topic on yoga pants. Let's keep it a female trend. Let's not let it cross over like fucking hair buns, which was stupid for men to wear. We don't need to see men in yoga pants. I don't want to see anybody walking around where we can count how many balls they have. Sorry, gentlemen, balls. I don't want to see any pants where we can see how many balls they have, or we can count the number of veins in their penis. Let's leave that to the public masturbators. Thank you.